So, people need to understand what a figure of speech means. Like, and they need to understand what supply and demand is. So, like, people can, like, say comments on, like, I'm gonna go and do this, like, I'm gonna go and milk that cow. That's a figure of speech. And, and it hurts my feelings just because, like, the direction that I'm going in life, and I'm gonna lose vocabulary words. Like, I'm not gonna, like, I'm worried that I'm gonna run out of vocabulary. So, like, I'm just grateful that I remember what figure of speech means. And so, um, when I say I'm gonna go and milk that cow, doesn't mean I'm gonna actually go and find a cow and milk it. No. It usually means I'm gonna go out and get money from that thing. It doesn't actually mean I'm going to seriously go and find a cow and milk it. Like, if you're out on the farm, and then you're like wearing boots and a bucket, and you're like, I'm gonna go and milk that cow, then, it could actually mean I'm gonna go and milk the cow. It's not actually it's not a figure of speech. And so it makes it challenging because, like, especially English, like, other countries, if you listen to their language, we say, like, the sky is blue, and in, like, other countries, it's when they speak in their tongue, their language, it usually means blue skies. And we don't say blue skies in English. We say the sky is blue, not blue skies. And so it makes it challenging because, like, there's a lot of, like, words in English that means the same thing too. Like, I should have thought of this. Orange, like, that's one. That's a color. I saw it because of my Tide pen, but it's actually a fruit too that you can peel and eat it. But it means two different things. So if you don't hear the sentence correctly, you could be thinking about the fruit when they're talking about the color, or vice versa. So it makes it challenging. And the thing is, so, like, supply and demand, that's a whole, like, different, like, spider web. I got into spider web, so we got into spider webs and how, like, spiders. And if you think about it, like, the trucks and the airplanes and the trains, like, the train tracks could be spider webs, but they're not actually real spider webs. It's just, a figure of speech. And it could be, the trains could be the spiders that are moving along the spider webs, or the bugs. It could be the bugs moving along the spider webs, getting to the spiders, because the spiders could be the companies or the places, because spiders don't typically move around too much. And so the thing is, if we don't have the supply and demand, so, like, if we don't have the if we don't have the trains moving along the tracks to get the supplies and drop off the demands, we're never gonna get the products, which means we have to actually work, like, moving our bodies and do stuff that we may like or dislike, and to get stuff that we want or need, and that's why I like milking the cow. Like, we need cows and we need milk, but the thing is, we don't actually need to milk the cows. We can get milk from oat milk, from oats and almonds. We don't actually need to touch the cow, but we can use, like, people might say, I'm gonna go and milk the cow, and it just means I'm gonna go to the store and buy almond milk, and there's no cow milk involved at all, but they still got milk. And so that's my issue, is we still have to work to make money. You know, we have to leave the house and do things that we don't like. And that's why there's people who work at jobs and they complain about the jobs, but they will cry if they lose their job just because they need money. And so, but if we go to the jobs and we don't do anything, you know, and we sit there, we're lacking the supply and demand of the job, which means eventually if we just sit there the whole entire time, that company or that building will shut down because there's no products coming in and out of the place. If you guys have any questions, please don't be shy and discuss it with your friends and families and all that stuff. And I love discussions too, so DM me, comment, or reach out one way or another. So